You need to organize your time with intention. Don't try to squeeze studying into the leftover cracks of your day. Instead, structure your schedule so that studying sits at the center of it. What does that really mean? It means choosing a specific time each day when you begin studying and treating that time as non-negotiable. I remember that for me, it was around 6:00 p.m. I would tell myself, okay, I'm back from school, I'll rest for a little while, and at 6:00 p.m. my study time begins. That was my starting point. How long would I study? That depended on how much homework and how many assignments I had. At a minimum, I studied for an hour or two. Sometimes it stretched to 4, 5, or even 6 hours. It always started at 6:00 and often ended around 9:00 or 10:00 p.m., sometimes even later. The ending time could change, but the starting time never did. 6 o'clock meant sitting down, opening the books, and getting to work. It doesn't have to be 6:00 for you. Choose a time that fits your life. What matters is showing up at that same time every single day. This brings us to the next important point. You need to get comfortable and slow yourself down in order to study effectively. Learning cannot be rushed. One method that helped me tremendously was simple repetition and persistence. Many of the topics I struggled with as a student, the concepts I didn't immediately understand, I pushed through by repeating them over and over again. Repetition takes time. You also have to be patient with yourself. Sometimes you won't understand a problem right away, so you go over it again, think about it again, and work through it again. That means the process may take longer. Instead of finishing a quick math assignment in 1 hour, it might take 3 hours. But if you calm yourself, settle in, and allow the information to truly sink in, that extra time is absolutely worth it. This is where passion enters the picture. If you don't care about what you're studying and you rush through material just to memorize it, like cramming before an exam, that approach is terrible. It turns learning into a meaningless task. You become like an animal jumping through hoops, doing it only because you think you have to pass the test, get the grades, get into college, or make your parents proud. That is not real learning. Instead, shift your mindset. Tell yourself, this subject is fascinating. I want to understand it more deeply. I want to explore it further. Be curious about how mathematics connects to history, how history connects to science, and how different subjects interconnect. Seek depth, ask questions. Look for relationships. That is the mindset you need. I don't believe there is any magic formula for success. I'm not talking about making millions or billions of dollars. I'm talking about being successful in what you do, successful at work, successful in your responsibilities. There is no hidden secret. You have to work hard, respect the people around you, and keep moving forward. I have never met a successful person who didn't work hard. There are 2 rules I always live by: work hard and be brave. The essence of hard work is simple. You may never be the best-looking person. You may never be the tallest, the most talented, or the most naturally gifted. You may never have the most money. There will always be someone better than you at whatever you do, but there's one thing you can always control: your effort. You can always be the hardest working person in the room. And the hardest working person over time finds a way to win. Ask yourself this: who do you need to become in order to create the life you want? What needs to change within you? What habits or behaviors do you have right now that could become liabilities in your future? As you look ahead and take an honest inventory of yourself, identify what you need to leave behind because it no longer fits the direction you're going. Consider where you want to go and the type of person you must become. Consider the standards you want to hold yourself to. What must you start doing differently today? Clear your mind of distractions. At one point, I held the record in the United States for memorizing a deck of cards in the fastest time. Before memorizing, my mind would sometimes be cluttered with worries about life and situations I was dealing with. To remove those distractions, I would close my eyes and visualize those situations the way I wished they were, or the way I hoped they might be one day. When I opened my eyes, the stress felt lighter, and I could focus completely on memorizing the deck of cards. You can do the same. Close your eyes, picture the outcomes you want, release the tension, and then return your full attention to studying. If you want to perform at a high level, especially if you're starting a company, you need to work extremely hard. So what does extremely hard actually mean? When my brother and I started our first company, we didn't rent an apartment. We rented a small office instead. We slept on the couch. We showered at the YMCA. We were short on money and had only one computer. During the day, the website stayed online. At night, I did the coding. We worked 7 days a week constantly. During that time, I briefly had a girlfriend, and if she wanted to spend time with me, she had to sleep in the office. That's the level of commitment I'm talking about, working every waking hour. If you are building a company, that level of dedication matters. Think about it in simple terms. If someone works 50 hours a week and you work 100 hours, you will accomplish twice as much over the course of a year. If you want to learn something faster, you must clearly understand the connection between what you are learning and the life you dream of living. Connect it to the lifestyle you truly want. I tell people all the time, don't just create random lists of things you want to learn. Human beings are naturally curious, intensely curious. Today, everyone wants to learn 50 new things immediately, yet very few people truly learn anything. Why? Because their interest isn't real, it's temporary, it's a passing desire. If you want to become a great learner, your learning must be tied to your dream life, a real lifestyle you see for yourself and genuinely want to build.